What's up guys, Shuckle King here for my round of 64 matchup for NJNP's Good Saturdays Discord server tournament. The battle is against Oaks. You can see in the corner his team from most to least threatening is Thundy T, Florges, Shaman, Mega Slowbro, Crocodile, Scizor, Zygarde 50% with Z moves, and Mienshao. And I think the last matchup I had before, I think I had Thundy T as like the 4th most threatening Pokemon. So now, this being the number 1 most threatening, that I guess this kind of shows that I'm not too threatened by Oak's team. Thundy T is annoying, but Nidoqueen has been my pretty good answer to it. Florges is up there because it handles Mega Latios and Dragonite. I mean, it can't do anything to Skarmory, Victini if it's banded, Bulu if it's anything really. Nidoqueen handles it well. Shaman doesn't have a great matchup either. It handles Finny and Greninja. But Victini destroys it, can't do much to Skarmory. Nidoqueen can revenge it, Dragonite can set up on it. And a Mega Slowbro is revenged pretty easily by Bulu. Crocodile revenged by Bulu. Scizor I have Victini for. Zygarde 50%, I have Skarmory and Finny for it. So I'm not too worried about it at all. Victini can outspeed it. Greninja can outspeed and kill it. Latios can outspeed and kill it. And Mienshao, I got 2 fairy types. And I have Skarmory, and I have Victini, and even Nidoqueen, Mega Latios. So yeah, he does not have a good matchup, in my opinion. Shoutouts to Turkey. He did help me mock and build this team, though, so I appreciate the help. The 3 most threatening pokes I feel are Skarmory. So it really shuts down everything on his team except for Thundy T. And I guess like a Leech Seed or a Spec Shaman may be an issue, but... or I guess like Choice Banded, Reckless, High Jump Kick from Mienshao would do decent damage. But that's a weird Brinks. I have 4 resistances to that. Tapu Fini is also threatening. Again, it's beat out by Thundy and also Shaman, but it shuts down everything else on his team, especially if I have Taunt. It can beat all his more bulkier mons, and Fairy is pretty good against his team. And the 3rd Pokemon, Nidoqueen, just because it handles the Thundy T pretty well, and it's a pretty good offensive Pokemon with the coverage it gets with Cheer Force. So for my team, the first Pokemon I have is Skarmory with max HP, max defense, Whirlwind, Roost, Spikes, and Toxic. No attacking moves. It can't do anything to the Slowbro or the Scizor, so he could defog away. I imagine Scizor would be defensive to handle my Bulu. So that would be an issue, but I have ways around Scizor. But Spikes, hopefully I can get those up, stack them up, and be good. Toxic, we'll hit everything else. Florges, Mega Slowbro, Crocodile, Zygarde, Mienshao, and Whirlwind to like an SD Scizor, a Moxie Crook, Whirlwind Zygarde, Calm Mind Slowbro. So it handles all those pretty well. Next I have Tapu Fini, which handles the Scizor very well. With Nature's Madness plus Surf and Taunt, I outspeed with my speed investment. I outspeed Adamant. Scizor, though I'm pretty sure he would bring defensive if he brings it. But Taunt handles the Florges, handles the Mega Slowbro from Calm Mind Rest or Calm Mind Slack Off. And Moonblast hits everything pretty hard. Surf is there for the Scizor. The 3rd Pokemon I have, I said before, was Nidoqueen. A little bit different spread than what I brought for the Thundy T. Very similar, though, because it's essentially max HP, but leftovers. I had a little bit more investment for the Thundy T before, but because I have leftovers, I don't need it as much. I could take 2 HP Ices from Thundy T. I could take a Psychic, take any hit from it, and do a ton of damage, kill it with Ice Beam if it Rocks Up, or if not Rocks Up, do enough damage where it's Revenge killed pretty easily with my team. Sludge Wave hits the Shaman, hits the Florges pretty hard. Flamethrower kills the Scizor unless he's like max specially defensive. So that's very cool. Next I have Victini, which will also kill the Scizor. A Scarf to outspeed the Zygarde, and I can Revenge kill with Glaciate, or even if he's like Yachi, I at least slow it down so that way Tapu Fini can kill it. Blue Flare, just hard stab to hit everything. Energy Ball for Slowbro, and U-Turn for momentum. the floor just handles the set very well, but he's not going to know that at least initially because I could be V-create set, so he's got to watch out for that. But I have ways around floor just mainly being the Skarmory. Bulu, Choice Banded. Scizor, yes, it could be a problem. It takes it on very well, especially if it's defensive, but Hidden Power Fire would 2 KO it. And he can't KO me back with Bullet Punch unless he's Choice Banded. Speedy to outspeed like Florges and such. Speed creep Zygarde if it doesn't have speed. Outspeed the Shaman to maybe 2 KO with Woodhammer if he's not defensive. Though I guess if he is not defensive, he'd be speedier, so he wouldn't outspeed it. But I don't think Shaman should be able to OHKO me unless he has like Hidden Power Poison. But yeah, if I weaken the Scizor or kill it, then Choice Banded Woodhammer does a ton of damage to his team. It can OHKO to Slowbro if that gets out of hand somehow. And the last Pokemon I have is Mega Latios. I've been building around it more recently, but it's on the back burner. But it'll be nice because it outspeeds the Thundee Teeds and another way that I can take it out. So that's nice. Pretty standard. Roost Toxic to handle the more defensive threats. Psyshock and Dragon Pulse to hit offensively. Outspeeds the Zygarde without a Dragon Dance boost, which is nice. Crocodile, it gets Pursuit Trapped as well as Victini does, but I feel like I can handle Crocodile with like Tapu Bulu, Tapu Fini, even Skarmory can wear it down with Hazard and Whirlwind. I do have to watch out for Sludge Bomb Crocodile. That's definitely a thing, but I think I'll be okay. So we'll see how this team does in the match. Alright, here we are for the match for the round of 64 against Oaks. As we can see, it does not bring the Crocodile or the Scizor. No Scizor is kind of surprising. Bulu does a little bit more this game with that. Probably a more defensive Shaman, I guess, to take on my Bulu then. But no Scizor means that I can also get my hazards up. So that's very nice. No Crocodile is good for my Latios and Victini, so they won't be Pursuit Trapped. So that's great for sure. So I'm going to lead with my Nidoqueen. It hits everything pretty hard, and I don't think anything can kill me from full except for the Slowbro, but I doubt he would lead with that. So I'm going to just lead with Nidoqueen and hopefully get rocks up. He leads with Mienshao, goes for U-turn, gets a crit. A little unfortunate, but that's fine. So I go for the Stealth Rocks here. It makes it a little bit of a better roll for him to kill me with 2 Hidden Power Ices. That's fine. I'm going to switch my Latios, predicting the Psychic, and he goes for the Dark Pulse, which sucks. He's max special attack from this, which is fine. I can do a ton of damage with Dragon Pulse and Revenge Call with Nidoqueen or Victini. But based on that damage, he's actually Assault Vest. So that means I don't really want to risk my Victini not killing with Blue Flare. I think he could live based on the HP that he's at right now. So I'm forced to go into my Nidoqueen and hopefully kill with an Ice Beam. I think a very low roll would not kill it, but if I can get rid of his Thundurus, which is the biggest threat to my team, then I'm perfectly fine with that. I get this Spadef drop, doesn't really matter, Ice Beam gets the kill. So that's great. Biggest threat is gone, and I'm in good position. Brings in a Zygarde. Fenny is a very, very safe switch into this. Skarmory is too, but it's a little passive, so I wanted to bring more offensive pressure to his team, see what his switch is to Tapu Fini, which I'm assuming is Shaman, or I guess the Florges. He's got to watch out if I'm Calm Mind, though. But he does go into Florges, and I fire off a Moonblast. Get the special attack drops, which is fine. My safe switch in 100% is Skarmory. You can't do anything to it, really. Goes for an Energy Bulb. Based on that damage, he's actually max special attack, so it's very nice he got this special attack drop. So he can't do much to me, especially with a -1 special attack, so I can just freely set up spikes. Goes for the Moonblast, does 22%, so I would have done about a third with at the special attack drops. I would have been able to take it on, would have taken a little longer though. But eventually I do get up all 3 forms of hazards, all 3 layers plus rocks, which is nice. Goes through the Psychic, so I know he doesn't have Protect, he's Psychic. Moonblast, Energy Ball, and Wish. So he also doesn't have Heal Bell, so I can wear down this Florges. Not that it wasn't too big of a threat anyways to my Skarmory. So right here, go for the Whirlwind. Really, the only play I had left, so I don't have any attacking moves. Bringing his Mienshao, which I'm fine with. I can see what type of hit it is based on that damage, and it's a Reckless Scarf, not Reckless Banded or Regenerator. So that's fine. I'll be wearing that down a ton, which is good for me. My Whirlwind, unfortunately, into a Florges, but can't do much to me. He can Wish, which is fine, but I'll be at full HP, which is definitely a big problem for him. Goes for the Psychic. I'm going to Whirlwind him out, so his Florges is essentially useless. Probably didn't want the Shaman at that point, but that's fine. I can get a Toxic on it and see what he's going to do to handle me. Goes for the Hidden Power Electric. Based on that, he's max special attack, probably Timid, with Hidden Power Electric, I'm assuming, or maybe Hidden Power Fire, which I guess also hits the Bulu. So at this point I sack off my Nidoqueen because that's not going to do a whole lot in this match. His Shaman's very worn down with Life Orb and Toxic. I can my Victini, kill it with Blue Flare. Unfortunately I miss, but fortunately he doesn't have Earth Power. That would have really done a ton of damage. Would have brought me down to about 30%. Probably to where Zygarde might have been able to revenge kill me with E-Speed. So that's nice he didn't have that, but very unfortunate that I missed. So he's going to go to Mienshao. He could Poison Jab, he could Knock Off, he could Stone Edge. I'm going to go into my Finny right now just to scout what he's going to do. And then probably, even if Finny dies, Skarmory should be able to roost up on it. He misses a Stone Edge, unfortunate. Misses 2 Stone Edges, which is also unfortunate. Wouldn't have done a ton, but I'm sure he wanted the chip, which I guess we'll find out later if that was important or not. But, I mean, the chance to miss 2 Stone Edges is about the same as me missing 1. Blue Flare, so I feel like that's fine. I taunt to make sure he doesn't slack off or doesn't Calm Mind. Go for the Scald, I guess, assuming that he's not going to do a ton to me, and I'm eventually going to be able to kill down his Slowbro, but I guess he does get a little bit of chip on my top of Finny, which I'm okay perfectly with taking this trade-off. I feel like Victini wins this matchup with a Glaciate, because the Florges is essentially a nothing. Zygarde is going to die to Glaciate, and I can't miss that. It's 95% accurate, but with Victory Star brings it up to over 100% accurate. So I pretty much have this game won at this point. He wears me down a little bit, so Zygarde comes in. Moonblast probably doesn't get the kill, but it does enough damage easily to 2-KO it, or to where really anything on my team could kill it. Get the Dragon Dance up, but I have Scorfictini, so I'm not worried at all. He does go for the Z-Grand, which kills me. That was his only move that could kill me from that range. But again, not worried. Can go to Victini, go for the U-turn. Not going to miss that. And that I can get the kill in Florges. So good game, Oaks. Pretty quick. I guess a little unfortunate with the 2 Stone Edge misses. I don't think it made too much of a difference. But I felt like I had a pretty good matchup anyway this game. And Bulu didn't really do much at all. So good game, Oaks, again. And we'll see how well I do in the next round. Later, guys.